Hello everyone, I'm Bill Hammond and I actually paid to see this. And welcome to another episode of the worst trailer in the world. Now, for this month's edition, I have to admit, I was pretty surprised. I mean, you'd think that a flick about a lazy, chubby, orange, lasagna-loving, sarcastic grump who still finds a way to be lovable would be right up my alley, right? I mean, that's literally me down to a T. But, as it turns out, this film is just not that. And that's the problem. This is the Garfield movie.
Wait here, Junior. I'll be right back.
I think we can all agree that the one thing truly missing from this franchise was the idea of absentee fathers. Nothing gets the kids laughing like abandonment issues. Bravo! Okay, I know we're going for an adorable first meeting here, but I'm much more focused on the fact that John Arbuckle is sitting alone in a restaurant with an entire pizza to himself. Like, I know we've all heard that joke that any pizza is personal if you're committed to it, but really, this is just sad. Especially when you consider that John appears to have elected to subject himself to this public misery. There are no plates on that table. It's not like he got stood up for a date that we can establish. So that means he chose, on his own, to go out to a restaurant where there are lots of other people and sit by himself with an entire pizza. He had no idea that he'd be adopting a kitten today. So this is just dark, man.
You hungry, little guy?
Mamma mia, style lasagna, to go!
Waitress, there's a hair in my food. And another one. And another one. And another one. Basically an entire living animal. You think you can take this back? Or at minimum give me a discount, seeing as how this cat has already eaten at least $200 worth of entrees?
I'm gonna name you Garfield.
I'm sorry, is this supposed to be a reveal? The scene itself is pretty quick, but it makes absolutely no sense. We all know who Garfield is. Even the littlest kid that's gonna beg their parents to go see this, so it's not like we're being given any new information here. Also, nothing about the last several seconds would inform the name of Garfield. So why are we doing this? Devouring Italian food and assassinated presidents don't exactly go hand in hand, you know what I mean?
Good morning.
Literally me every day since I turned 15. To be clear, I'm the one collapsing face down onto a sleeping service and saying good morning. If I was John, I'd actually be sneezing my brains out right now due to allergies. I love the kitties. They don't love me back.
We're gonna need the big scale!
Does she need to announce it to the whole office?
I know it's just a sight gag, but any self-respecting vet would see an overweight feline and just put it on a bigger scale to begin with, rather than risking their very expensive equipment. You can't sacrifice logic for the sake of dumb and expect anyone over the age of 5 to laugh at it. Sorry.
Say when.
Never, John. Bury me in cheese.
That right there. That is the only moment in this entire trailer where I buy Chris Pratt as Garfield. I was willing to let him slide on Super Mario Bros. Because Mario has had many different voices over the years. Hell, I grew up with Captain Lou Albano playing him. You can have variety. But with Garfield, it's always been the same low, monotone, Lorenzo music, Bill Murray style voice. This is the only time you can convince yourself that Pratt is coming anywhere close. The rest of the time, it just sounds off. Also, Garfield's mouth isn't supposed to move. I know it did for the CGI cartoon show, I don't care. It was an abomination then, it's an abomination now.
It was all about to collapse.
Sorry guys, you wanted this set for Frank and Winnie too, that's next door.
Odie, I'm dreaming again. Slap me across the face.
Why would you want a slap to wake you up? You could just use an alarm clock. or crippling anxiety.
I think this is a case of mistaken identity. You must be looking for another gorgeous, lovable kitty cat.
Awesome. A kidnapping. Truly a staple of this series. From the very beginning, that's all Jim Davis ever intended. Kidnapping.
You.
Huh?
This is Vic, my father.
That's not how air quotes work. Vic is literally your father, not figuratively or sarcastically. Therefore, it doesn't play. Here's a better example. The idea of a movie where a beloved cartoon character gets bogged down in daddy issues is fun, or new, or entertaining, or doesn't make me want to drink bleach. See? That's how you do it. We're learning stuff.
Listen, I need your help.
Get them!
I haven't seen you for years, and when I do, you're on the run from a deranged cat.
Ha! Like he knows anything about running. You know, come to think of it, the only other two cats we've seen so far are huge compared to Garfield. I wonder what kind of scale Liz would have brought out for them.
We need to toughen you up.
Hey, I know tough.
Dude, I have literally seen marshmallows that look tougher than a lot of you. And I'm not even talking Stay Puft.
You've obviously never been in an Olive Garden that's run out of breadsticks.
And clearly neither of you, since you were in a generic Italian restaurant earlier and not an actual Olive Garden. Geez, this is one of the few times where I'm honestly upset that a movie didn't go for the obvious product placement.
Follow my lead.
I don't normally comment on the idiotic screen text, but when you put up the words outdoor adventure and then immediately cut to an indoor location, that's just lazy editing and bad producing.
Oh, cheddar. Probably one of my top 26 favorite cheeses.
Okay, 1, cheddar typically doesn't have air holes in the block. 2, what kind of random ass number is 26 for this joke? 3, either list all 26 or don't bother because there's no way this joke is going to land anyway. 4, why use the word probably? This goes back to the previous point because if you can't name 26 cheeses, you can't even have a ranking for this to probably be among them. And 5, yeah.
My orange tabby and my dog are both missing.
What the hell kind of house is this? Look at it again. Look where the chimney is. If we're to believe this design, John Arbuckle has a fireplace partially blocking his front door. What madness is this?
Your call is very important. There are 1,046 people ahead of you.
Look, I know it's exaggeration for the sake of humor, but we've all been on hold enough times to know that they'll just disconnect the call if the line gets too long. Sorry, but this gag is as uninspired as that cheap Easter egg box of Binkios.
Drop them now!
We have to go save my dad.
Do we? I mean, he literally abandoned you in an alley. I think you're well within your rights to not give a damn. Okay, this is something that has always bugged me with animated films, particularly the ones aimed at children. Why do we list the celebrity voice cast in the trailer? I guarantee you there's not a single adult out there that's going to be swayed one way or another based solely on that, so why are we treating it as a selling point? Every parent who takes their child to see this will only care about getting 90 minutes of peace and hopefully quiet. They really don't give a crap if Harvey Guillen's in it. And then on the flip side, what little kid is going to know or care who the celebrity voices even are? I'm sorry, is there some 5-year-old out there thinking to themselves, "Oh right, Samuel L. Jackson, he's the one who says motherfucker all the time"?
Oh, that cat's a goner.
That may be the single dumbest thing ever used to sell a movie. What? Are we gonna have a sequel where Cat Williams plays a mouse, Dead Mouse plays a bee, and Samantha Bee plays a monkey's uncle?
You think you can battle these villains on your own?
If I don't make it back.
Tell my story.
Or make a nonsensical cartoon heist movie and shoehorn me into it even though it's the literal antithesis of my character. Either one.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Part of me wants to help him.
No, this is how he learns.
This coming from the studio who gave us Angry Birds, The Smurfs, Surf's Up, Peter Rabbit, 4 Hotel Transylvania films, and somehow against all logic and sanity, the Emoji Movie.
Ow, it's so hot. Ow, it's really hurting. Ow, ow, ow.
You saw nothing.
Oh, sorry, that was a misread. The actual line is, you saw something that makes you want to jump into a void of nothingness. There you go. Give it another try. And there it is, the worst trailer in the world for this month. This is just wrong on a lot of levels. And don't misunderstand me, I love Garfield, always have. His hatred of Mondays has fueled my sense of humor for 4 decades now. But this is not Garfield. This is just a generic heist film with Garfield branding. Have the people behind this ever read the comics or watched the cartoon shows? It's short form, and it always has been. A few panels here, a 7-minute cartoon there, the occasional half-hour special, but that's it. Even the classic Garfield and Friends program had to break things up with brief vignettes and an entire US Acres segment. That's because this character and the humor around him doesn't lend itself to feature length. There's a reason why the last 2 movies have Rotten Tomatoes ratings in the teens. And it's because the gag of a lazy fat cat getting into shenanigans can only go so far. It's not a crime to admit that, and just let this beloved character stay in his lane. Or suction cup to your window, I guess. He's fine as is. We didn't need all this rigmarole, and we certainly shouldn't be rewarding it with our dollars. The only thing we should be spending our money on is paying the postage to mail the reels to Abu Dhabi along with Normal. That's all for this month. Keep it locked on the blog, actuallypaid.com, for more reviews and features. Please consider liking and subscribing if you made it this far without wanting to dump spaghetti on my head. And if you have any suggestions for another preview to get the worst trailer treatment, leave a comment down below, or just share your thoughts. But please be respectful, unlike the people who made this movie. Until next time, I'm Bill Hammond. I actually paid to see this. Even the littlest kid that's gonna beg their parents to see this, to these frig. Ow, bit my lip. See, this is what happens when you don't use thought bubbles. Great, now I'm just thinking about breadsticks. My God, those are delicious and addicting. And I'm gonna gain 20 pounds just thinking about them.
A member of the BTRP Media Network.